Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I will talk about one of, if not the most famous fictional comic book character of all time, Superman. And when Superman is mentioned, people often think of the symbol of hope, the epitome of humanity. And do you know that the modern Superman has become harder than many did expect or many can think of. And in today's video, I will explore and explain to you from my perspective about why Superman is harder to write than many people think. So first, we will move to the birth concept. In the original place, Superman was created based on the concept of the Übermensch from Nietzsche. And a fun fact that the word Übermensch in German translated to English and that is called Superman. So you can so the Superman figure can be considered as a personification of the concept of Übermensch. And with that origin, Superman's primary purpose is to show the epitome of humanity's characters and to represent hope, to represent truth, the justice, and the best of mankind. And however, as time goes on, the readers' requirement for Superman change as people underwent societal changes, grew up, and underwent radical change in the radical movement shifts in the society. And as a result, the modern Superman now cannot be only idealistic anymore. The modern Superman now has to be idealistic, powerful, relatable, and interesting. And in the next part, we will talk about why these four factors matter in writing Superman. The first, we will move about being idealistic. Being idealistic, as I have mentioned in the first part, plays like the core of the character from the first place, as he represent the best of humanity. So being idealistic has to be the obligatory factor for Superman when anyone approaches the character. Secondly, is being powerful. Besides being a beacon of hope, Superman also represents a fantasy in humans' mind to cater the imagination. What if a person can have superpowers? Next, we got being relatable. Though Superman is portrayed as as ideal in the core, the modern Superman also has to be relatable. As despite being an alien, he chose to live like a live a human life alongside being a superhero. He also shared many things with the mankind, such as emotion, empathy, or the daily life struggle, just like any other person on the planet. And the last part is to be interesting. So this is a final factor in the pillars, the modern Superman. Getting Superman interesting to for readers also reflect the maturity of the readers and the comic books of Superman. Now the Superman comics now need to introduce new things, new adventures, enemies, allies, or even more moral dilemmas. So what happens if one factor is stripped away? Without being idealistic, it is similar to losing the heart of a character. Superman, and now the Superman it just becomes a generic flying brick, the person with superpower without inspiring any person, without being powerful. The part of the fantasy is off. Why the Superman figure is still plays a fantasy story for the readers without relatability and being interesting. Superman becomes way less inspirational for readers, which can lead to eventual boredom for anyone. And now we move to the last part. Why did the Superman figure had to change? So, from my perspective, the figure Superman had to change because the original idea of Superman, alongside personifying the Superman concept, Superman in the last century or so represent the moral superiority of American with the motto truth, justice, and the American way. However, as the world change, as the world change, the that model did not fit Superman longer. So uh, the authors, the writers, they need to change from truth, justice, and the American way to truth, justice, and a better tomorrow. The Superman figure and his ideology had to change as the humans try to become a better persons. To build a way the world does not only exist in the American minds, they also exist in other people. They also exist in other nationality, other races, and that's why the Superman figure had to evolve. And in conclusion, for nearly a century, Superman has been an icon, a symbol, the inspiration for generations to become a better person, to have the world a better place, and that's why he's still being relevant. He's still iconic, and he still beloved by the public. And that is the end of my video today. If you want to have any comments, please comment politely below. And if you like the content I do make, please like, share, and subscribe, and see you in the next video.